All right, y'all, welcome to the show. We got a lot to talk about today. So in just a second, Kamala Harris and her campaign are still begging for donations, even though she already lost. And that was a while ago. So we'll talk about that. MSNBC goes after Bernie Sanders for saying that the DNC should perhaps ban big money. Hakeem Jeffries and other Democratic elites seemingly cannot quit Liz Cheney. And then we'll get to Dean Phillips caving to MAGA. We got some interesting news out of the UK because they legalized physician-assisted suicide. There's a bit of a scandal around that. We're going to talk about Vivek Ramaswamy and how everybody has sort of buried his past antics. But he's basically a total con artist. So I'll walk you through that. And then Australia bans all social media for kids under the age of 16. We'll get into that as well. So you guys know the drill. Please do me a big favor and subscribe to the channel. That helps out big time and costs you nothing. And much love to everybody who supports this show on Patreon. The link's below if you'd like to do that. Okay, let's go ahead and dive into it. So Politico has this article here. The title is, Democrats fear Harris's continued fundraising erodes trust. So the fundraising emails are still pumping out 2 or 3 times a day, even though she lost, even though it was a while ago. Guys, they raised $1.5 billion. Kamala raised $1.5 billion. Now, early on, a lot of that money was actually grassroots money. There was a big influx of funds going to the Democrats when Biden dropped out and it became Kamala and Tim Walz. There was a lot of enthusiasm at the grassroots level. And so, look, some of that is legit in the sense that people wanted her over Trump. They funded her. They supported her. But remember, they also took a shitload of big money too, right? But the way this works, and I know you're all familiar with this, pretty much if you've ever donated to any Democratic candidate ever, what happens is your name goes on an email list. And if you happen to fund a unicorn Democratic candidate, maybe they took their email list and they didn't sell it to other Democrats. But in most instances, if you donate it to one Democrat, they eventually sell that information, your email, to other Democrats. And then around election time, you get fucking bombarded, dog. Bombarded with emails. And I always find it funny, the difference between the Democratic emails and the Republican emails. If you read the emails that Republicans send out when they're fundraising or the text messages they send out, it's basically like, if you give us $5 or $10, bro, we're going to destroy the deep state and we're going to bring everybody to justice, yeah. That's the Republican email. The Democratic email is like, I'm only going to ask you one more time. I'm in pain over here and I'm hurt at the fact that you haven't supported us every step of the way. Please send us money. Like, it literally is, it's like a parody or a caricature of what a Republican is and what a Democrat is when you look at their emails. But look, she raised a lot of money from grassroots donors and from big money donors, $1.5 billion, and they somehow wound up in debt, bro. They wound up in debt. In debt. So they owe like $20 million, I believe the number is. And so in an effort to make up for that shortfall, they're still fundraising. But the other Democrats are correct to point out, look, our brand is already a little bit tarnished at the moment. We lost to Donald Trump again, Mr. 91 criminal charges. And you're going to beg people for more money? And by the way, they also point out in this article, they're kind of lying about what the money's going to. The emails themselves don't mention debt, instead citing the organization's support for recount efforts in close races and legal challenges. This is literally the scam that Trump ran. Remember? He raised like $250 million to stop the steal, then nobody even knows where the fuck that money went. He just robbed his own people. It seems like Democrats looked at Trump get away with that, and they said, yeah, I guess we can kind of do the same shit, because this is bullshit. The money's not going to support recount efforts in close races and do legal challenges. The money's probably going to pay off the debt, right? So look, here's the bottom line. They got to blow up this whole fucking system, dog. They got to blow up this whole system. My thesis that I wrote in college as a poli-sci major was about clean elections. And the whole idea of clean elections is no more billionaires funding the election system, no more corporations, shit, no more PACs, no more just private donations. The whole idea of clean elections is you pass a law to say this is a publicly financed election, every citizen who's of age gets granted $100 or $200 to donate to their the politicians that they want to donate to. And in this situation, you get more of a actual organic debate of different ideas from different candidates, as opposed to the way we do it now is, if you step into the political fray and you say, I'm going to represent ExxonMobil, or I'm going to represent Big Pharma, or I'm going to represent Wall Street, or I'm going to represent Raytheon, those industries will give you a shitload of money, so you'll be able to run the most ads, you'll be taken the most seriously, you'll get on media, and you catapult into the #1 position where you're most likely to win because you have the backing of powerful industries. The way you change that system is to make it so we're not relying on billionaires or corporations anymore. You change it so that it's publicly financed elections, so you actually have to pick based off like who has good ideas. And the way it works right now is disgusting because Democrats and Republicans both take big money from billionaires and corporations. But when they do get grassroots donors, they fucking piss them all off by being insane and sending out like 15 text messages or emails per day, which is what happened to me, what happened to many of you during election season. And like, nobody wants this. Nobody asked for this. And then there's also the sad angle. I'm sure you guys saw that CNN report from a month or two ago talking about how there are people who are really elderly and can't control their finances anymore, or they're disabled, or they have some sort of problem, and they donated to a political candidate, and then the box got checked automatically. Trump did this. The box got checked automatically for recurring donations. And a lot of these people have been bled fucking dry. Like, I'm talking hundreds of thousands of dollars basically stolen by the RNC or the Trump campaign or a PAC because you have somebody who really can't handle their finances and they donated once and then it was a recurring type shit. So this shit's got to end, bro. This shit's got to end. Look, here's my point, and I'm going to say this to Democrats. I get it. We don't have the ideal system yet for campaign finance. In fact, we have the fucking opposite right now. All it takes is one Democrat to come along with some fucking balls. One Democrat to step up and say, I'm running for office. I don't want a single donation above $1,000. Not a single one. I want everybody who donates to me, I want it to be small dollar donations from regular people because I'm going to represent working class people. That's what I want. Billionaires, keep your fucking money. I don't want it. Corporations, keep your fucking money. I don't want it. I'm running for the people. And you have one person who breaks the mold, who says, look, Trump beat Kamala Harris. Trump raised like a third of the money Kamala Harris did, and he won. Hillary raised more money than Trump, and Trump beat Hillary. Money at the presidential level is not the end-all be-all. You can win with raising less money. So have one candidate who steps up to the plate and says, I am principally against the corruption. I understand the system is super corrupt right now. I'm not going to play that game and go along to get along. I'm going to stand up and say, I only take small dollar donations. That's why I need your support, and that's it. And I'll represent you. And blow up the mold. Make it so that there's pressure on Democrats. That if you're going to take money, it's got to be grassroots, or it's got to be union money, things of that nature. That's the way to do it. And then also don't abuse the fucking process like they do right now. They abuse it. Asking you for money after she blew through $1.5 billion, is $20 million in debt, lost, lies, and commits fraud and says we're going to use this to do recounts. No, you're fucking using it to pay off the debt and you're fucking lying to people. All the trust is gone. All the trust is gone. But it's not just Kamala, it's all of them. You need a page 1 rewrite, or at the very least, just going back to the drawing board and approaching this whole thing in a different way, because what's going on right now is not working. And Democrats have set themselves up to be perpetual losers because they're never going to be as corrupt as Republicans. They're never going to represent big business as well as Republicans. They're never going to be as pro-donor as Republicans. And in the meantime, we're still taking that donor money, but also shaking down the grassroots and not even representing them. It's like a worst of all worlds. So chill with these fucking emails. This is like, here's a crazy idea. You raise $1.5 billion. Why didn't you spend $1.3 billion? Instead of overspending and then now shaking down the grassroots and lying to them in the process to pay off your debt. I mean, it's really, really gross. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.